Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jay and today I'm doing a reaction video to Cinemassacre's Avgn Angry Video Game Nerd episode 219, and it is Nosferatu. So let's check this out. So I'll try to skip quickly so I can get rid of the ads as well. So for Super Nintendo, here we go.
Tonight's Halloween marathon continues. Assholes tonight at 9.
Well, I've seen that one before. Yeah, I'm getting tired of the same old horror movies. You know what? I'm gonna go see that new Nosferatu movie. Yeah, there's a new Nosferatu, which is a remake of the remake. I'm very curious about that, so gonna go check it out.
Okay. Later.
Yeah, so it's not out yet. It comes out on Christmas Day.
Really?
Of all the days of the year to release a horror film, why pick Christmas? What were they thinking?
That's a good question.
I'm gonna have to wait to see Nosferatu, but at least for now, I can play the game. That's right, the game.
Nosferatu.
Yeah, Nosferatu on Super Nintendo. I'm sure you have one of two possible responses. What's Nosferatu? Well, it was the ancient Romanian word for the insufferable one, but never mind that. It was the title of the 1922 German silent horror film, which happens to be the only surviving adaptation of Dracula. But if you already know that and you're thinking, holy shit, there's a Nosferatu game, well,
I like the scream.
see for yourself.
That's good. Whoa. Nice.
Holy shit. Fuck my fucking nuts off. This looks amazing. For a 16-bit game, the graphics are very impressive. I hope I'm not making this assessment preemptively, but I will say this game is awesome. If you're at all surprised by just the fact this game exists, well, so was I. It was released in 1995 in North America, but it wasn't until after the turn of the millennium when I first heard of it.
Really?
If it was in Nintendo Power, I must have missed it. Its obscurity has some similarities to the classic film. As the story goes, the filmmakers didn't get permission to adapt the Dracula novel, so they changed the names. For example, Dracula was renamed Orlok. But a court ruled against it and ordered all copies of the film to be destroyed.
Really?
Though obviously some managed to survive, because then how the fuck are we looking at it? Though the game was never destroyed, not yet, it does feel like an unofficial Dracula. You can clearly tell from the cutscenes and especially the game over screen that it's meant to be Dracula.
Yes.
Some speculate that the reason they couldn't call it Dracula, or chose not to, was because of Konami having already established such a well-known franchise with the character. I mean, it's so famous, I don't even think I need to say the name of this franchise, but I will. Castlevania, or Devil's Castle Dracula. I'm pretty sure the character was public domain by then, and it's worth noting that there were other Dracula games, such as Bram Stoker's Dracula, you know, the one with Fred Fuchs. But the Nosferatu game has the same type of premise. A guy goes into a castle to fight a bunch of monsters, ultimately to face a final vampire boss. But if there was any game it copied, it would be Prince of Persia, with its detailed character animation and controls that attempt realism. You have to painstakingly climb up walls rather than just effortlessly hopping around. I wouldn't call this a platformer game. It's more like a cliffhanger game. So what I'm saying is, Nosferatu, at its best, is Prince of Persia, and at its worst, is Lester the Unlikely, but let's not go there. The moves do take a while to figure out. Even if you look them up or somehow have the original manual, it takes a lot of practice. I actually ran the timer out before I even had a chance to try all the moves. And even then, sometimes the attacks just don't want to connect. I have to address the fact that your only method of attack is punching and kicking. You know, I always find it amusing when you punch the ever-loving fuck out of a monster. I mean, that takes some serious nerve to just go up to that thing and punch it. He even raises his fists, goes into a fight stance like, come and get it. Gonna hook you up with some combos. Even in Doom, the reason you would ever punch demons is because you ran out of bullets.
Yeah.
But this guy, he came here by choice without any weapons. I mean, you can see in the opening cutscene, he arrives at the castle unarmed. I figured along the way you would pick up weapons, right? A cross, a silver dagger, some holy water. But no, there are no weapons at all.
You're just
Who would have thought a vampire
it's like a Resident Evil
hand-to-hand combat? And this guy doesn't seem to be a mutant or have any super-powered abilities. He's just some ordinary-looking dude. Damn! Don't ever fuck with him. When you beat the stage boss, he shows off some moves, like you won the round. Were they trying to make a tournament fighter or a beat-em-up game? And then at the last minute it got turned into a horror-themed adventure? Not to mention, the stage 2 boss is a pair of apes.
Apes?
What kind of theme are we going with here?
Really?
I don't think they even knew what time period the game takes place. The game over screen has a photograph. At first I didn't think much of it, but after dying so many times and having to constantly look at it, I started wondering, why the hell would there be a photo? I mean, wait a minute. The date on it says 1990. Is that when the game is supposed to take place? I thought maybe 1890. In the cutscene, he's riding a horse. It definitely implies this is classic Dracula time period. But no, the Ninja Turtle movie came out the same year. This guy's riding a fucking horse into a castle. And besides, that is one sorry-ass game over screen. A guy and a girl smiling in a photo?
Like
Not a tombstone or a pile of bones or blood-dripping letters that say you're dead.
You are dead.
Just a vacation photo that could be somebody's goddamn profile pic. MySpace, yeah. Isn't that what the kids do these days?
MySpace is over with. No more.
Who made this game? I'm gonna move my thumb away. Yep, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna move my thumb away.
Let's see what I think it is.
Seta, yeah, it couldn't have been LJN because I already did all the LJN games, finished them all off in my episode 200. So, Seta, who did that? Oh no.
Wait for it. Was I lost?
Now we know the extent of what we're dealing with here. Check this out. You often come to a low clearance where you have to pass through a narrow space. You're probably thinking you just duck and crawl, right? Or do a slide like Mega Man. Well, you'd be right that you slide, but it's not that simple. You don't just press down and A. No, you have to get a head start and then run by doing a double tap on the D-pad, and then you slide by pressing down and Y.
Okay then.
Fine enough to deal with, except the run doesn't always work. You're probably familiar with other games that use the double tap to run, like Battletoads and the Ninja Turtles beat-em-up games. But this is like a broken version of that. Is it supposed to be 2 slow taps, 2 fast taps, or fuck it, try 3 taps? It doesn't matter. It only works when it feels like it, and that's unacceptable because there are tons of spots where you need to run. Whether it's a running jump or a running slide, you have to do it again and again and again. So it must be reliable. But it isn't.
Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I saved hundreds. With the money I saved, I thought I'd get a wax fig.
There we go. Back to the video.
Oh, and then there's times when you run by accident. Like if you're trying to walk real slow or inch yourself to a certain spot, it might trigger the run. Then I realized something. It just hit me like a 10-ton pile of shit.
Ooh.
There is no reason the double tap should be necessary at all. Couldn't run be its own button like L or R? Those do nothing.
That's a good point.
And what about X or A? Those are dead buttons too. The game only uses Y and B.
That's
Attack
it?
and jump. You can reassign the buttons, but it doesn't matter because there's only 2. All the other buttons go to waste.
No sense to me right there. Why would you do that?
But this was in 1995. It wasn't like Super Nintendo just came out. In fact, PlayStation was out by then. I already said they didn't know what genre game they were making, but they didn't even know what console they were making it for. I'm starting to think this game might not be as awesome as it first looks. Man, such potential. Great style, great design. I mean, who doesn't love a good spooky adventure where you're going through a bunch of haunted scenery, fighting creatures of the night? But it's ruined by one minor peeve after another. Certain monsters drop crystals on the floor, but you have to stand in the most precise spot to pick them up. It's like trying to pick a penny off the floor. It's not worth it. What are these crystals for anyway? Well, to increase your attack power and shit, but it doesn't matter. As soon as the next thing hits you, you lose
it.
Let's say you open a treasure chest and get an item. What will be your next instinct? To walk away, right? You got the item, done. But no. I found out there could actually be more items in the chest, so you have to keep grabbing until you've got everything. Who would think to do that? In Zelda, when you open a chest, there's only one item. That's it. You don't keep digging into the same chest.
Just like the map you
But
see.
some chests have no items at all. Instead, a shitty ghost that pops out and hits you. That's a cheap shot.
Yeah, it is.
But everything I've mentioned so far is just petty poopy. The real shit is coming up. Theoretically, it's a short game with only 6 stages. But you know what other game has only 6 stages? Ghost and Goblin.
Ghost,
One of the hardest, most ball-busting motherfuckers ever.
Oh yes, I remember
With
that for a
Nosferatu,
fact.
it doesn't really get that
There'd
hard
be Ghost
until
and Goblin.
stage 3,
Hard
and as far as I'm
hell.
concerned, that's where the playability runs out. The problem is they give you only 1 life. When you die, it's game over and you go back to the last checkpoint, wherever that is. They're real stingy about these checkpoints. After a long, punishing stretch, you'll come to a doorway, which would seem like the perfect logical place for the checkpoint, but nope. Well, that's one way to make 6 stages feel like 100, by turning them into endurance rounds, forcing the player to repeat the same parts over and over and over until they've mastered it. I'm playing on the normal difficulty setting, by the way, and I cannot pass stage 3. Not
really?
Code, and I tried for hours. I gave it my best. You know, this gave me that same experience as all those tough-ass games you've seen me play over the years. It's so familiar to me now, I recognize it, like a sickness coming on. Oh, here's the sore throat phase, here comes the runny nose. You've gone through it so many times, you know the feeling. And here's how I would describe what I'd call the 3 phases of angry nerd gaming.
Oh boy.
Phase 1 is the confusion stage. What am I supposed to do? Where do I go? This is when you learn the game, and the only way to do that is by dying a lot. You will attempt leaps of faith, or more like faithless leaps of death. You will run into dead ends and have to find your way around the maze. You will get stuck until you realize there's a hidden path, the classic cryptic bullshit. And you might even fall through the goddamn floor.
Dang!
So essentially, what you're doing in phase 1 is having a free-for-all fuck-up fest until you've memorized the entire layout of the stage until the next checkpoint. Phase 2 is when the element of chance creeps in behind you and kicks you in the ass. This is the part when you think nothing major can go wrong, because by now
it will go wrong. Murphy's
you
Law.
have the knowledge and the practice, but for some reason, shit doesn't work. Let's say you have to make a running jump to grab onto a wall. 3 simple actions: run, jump, grab. And if just one of those become unresponsive, look, see, just like that. It didn't grab, but I know I was pressing up. The biggest wild card for me was this section where you have to pass over a spike pit while hopping across 3 crumbling platforms and being chased by some obnoxious creature that swings from the ceiling. It even laughs at you when you die.
Oh my god. Really?
It seems self-explanatory enough. Just hop across the platforms. But sometimes the jump fails and you get stuck in this crouching position. Like, what the hell? I was hitting the jump button. Sometimes you try to jump and he just falls into the pit. And even when you've made it across, there's still a chance it'll happen again.
Oh. Wow.
Holding left while tapping B, tapping left while holding B, every possible combination to hack the controls, and just when I thought I had it figured out, it stopped working.
Oh, that sucks.
It's all a random luck of the controls, and whenever I did pass this section, I always ended up dying somewhere else. You're expected to have a perfect marathon, which is basically like trying to flip a coin and have it land on heads multiple times in a row.
Dang.
When you fail, you get mad and want to try that same part over again, immediately, while it's fresh in your mind. But no, you have to start over and redo that whole stretch. And that brings me to phase 3. Phase 3 is when
Fatigue.
boredom and fatigue sets in. This is the stage of the sickness when you're wondering, when is this going to be over? You're so exhausted from playing the same parts over and over that you start playing shittier because you're rushing. Your patience is gone. This is when you can barely even stand to look at the graphics anymore. Those colors and patterns are burning into your eyeballs, and that music has found its way into your mind.
Yep. Yeah, one. Oh.
As you can see, I lost my fucking mind. Yeah, I hit my breaking point. I realized there was no way I was passing stage 3, even if I spent all day. So that's when I tried the code. This allowed me the opportunity to play every stage and fail on every stage.
Really? Wow.
Ah!
Oh.
Oh, fuck!
Dang. Oh. Get the beer time. Jeez.
Fuck!
Oh.
Fuck!
Oh. Doc.
I've shown
Dang.
you everything worthwhile. There's not that much variety. So here's the final battle with Dracula, or Nosferatu, whatever. He switches back and forth between his human and bat forms, and I have to say, I had my doubts, but it turns out that you still don't get any weapon, even at this point in the game. The whole mission comes down to a bare-fisted slugfest against the king of vampires.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one thing for this guy to go around punching monsters, but to actually kill the undead Prince of Evil with his bare fucking fists makes him the most unbelievably badass character of all time. Jeez. Holy shit. Can you kill a vampire in hand-to-hand combat? Is that part of the lore? Did they ever establish that in the original Nosferatu film?
I don't know about that. Can you kill him? It's the fist.
Come to think of it, this battle goes exactly how you'd expect. I mean, look at this. I'm getting my ass handed to me. And it's pretty rare to see your life bar bigger than the final bosses.
That's true.
Impossible to beat him. I managed to sneak in a combo every now and then, but it takes 2 combos to drain only half of 1 crystal. Half!
Dang.
You know what? Fuck this game. This is one of the most deceivingly shitty games I've ever played because it's almost awesome. It has a great style in that Castlevania sort of way. Let's not say Castlevania because it only makes me wish I was playing Castlevania. It has awful, unpredictable controls, not enough checkpoints, no extra lives, cheap traps. If you have anxiety, this is a game that a doctor would tell you to avoid. It's one of the most nerve-wracking pieces of shit on the Super Nintendo. By all definitions, this is Nosferatu, the insufferable one.
Uh-oh. Oh, the classic. Oh, yeah, I love the classic, how they do this. What's he say? Here we go. Oh, that was good. That was good. I like that. That was good. Yeah, it makes it look good at first, but at the end it doesn't because it's really hard. The game's really hard. So I did enjoy that. That was good. Oh my. That's probably one not a cheap one to find too. Nosferatu for Super Nintendo or Super NES or SNES. So yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. 219. That's a lot of episodes. I really enjoy it. I'll post the link of Cinemassacre's channel to go check them out. Please subscribe to them. They make other awesome content as well. I'll post a link for my Twitch down below. I hope you enjoy. Give me a follow. I might be streaming sometime. I mean, I don't know about, I'm not sure yet. I might be streaming tonight or not. I'm not sure, but go ahead and give me a follow there. Also, tell me what you think of the video, my reaction. Hit the, smash that subscribe button, turn on notifications, tell me what you enjoy or not. And so, that's where I'll be. You can follow, you know, and turn over so you can know what I upload next. Sorry about that. Hope you have a safe and wonderful day or night, depends where you're at, and I will see you next time. Take care, stay safe, stay humble, and be a blessing.